First, what a beautiful sight. Can you hear me in the back? All right, good. Thank you all for your support of the Beacon House. I am so grateful to be a part of this amazing recovery family and to be invited to speak to you tonight. In my 37 years of working in this field, I have never heard of or encountered a treatment center with the depth, the thoroughness, and the effectiveness of Beacon House. There is no time limit on recovery for any of these men, and there is no requirement for money or insurance. This is just an amazing program, and I'm going to walk you through a little bit of Beacon House treatment tonight. In addiction, the body is a toxic waste dump. It's a victim and perpetrator of suffering and abuse. In addiction, the mind is filled with false beliefs. It's filled with defenses and destructive impulses. The heart is shut down so as not to feel vulnerable. And apathy attempts to cover up a profound sense of emptiness and pain. The spirit is silenced and forgotten, leaving no meaning and no purpose to life whatsoever. Addicts use, abuse, hold hostage, neglect, and abandon the people around them, which reflects what's happened to the real person inside of them. So how do these men who are not used to giving of themselves, they're not used to dropping their defenses and deeply examining themselves, how do they transform into the men you see around here tonight? AA says alcoholics can't trust their own thinking and need to act their way into better thinking. And so what Beacon House does is it brings men into a large community of residents and staff who are living all of the recovery principles. And it directs men into immediate acts of solution. Now, these new men are quite mystified as to how these behaviors are going to support their sobriety. And so they wonder, how does sweeping streets and picking up trash affect addiction? And it only requires a little bit of time, and the men are getting it, and they realize they've been trashing themselves, trashing others, trashing their environment, trashing their life, and new values begin to emerge of cleaning up and caring about themselves and the health and the well-being of the world that they live in. Following simple, basic rules of living. This is without distractions, without isolation, without addictions, without material possessions, without chaos or drama or aggression. Just follow a simple, basic life. And what happens is the men realize the fear and the woundedness that lies behind those old dependencies. That scattered, fragmented energy and that adrenaline that they used to think was their identity and their life falls away. And they begin to wonder, who the heck are they? That's a good thing. That's the doorway to a whole new way of life. Men spend hours here talking to each other, listening to each other. Peers, helping peers, develops a sense of safety, trust, social skills, communication skills, increased understanding of themselves and others. How to move from problems into solution. Do you know how many people out there, non-alcoholics or addicts, do not have a clue how to move from problems into solutions? This is what men sit and talk about. Here's my problem. And everybody helps them move it into the solution, which is the opposite of what active addicts and alcoholics do. Give an active addict and alcoholic a problem, and they will make it 1,000 times worse by their response. And so what happens is the opposite of that here. It's often easier to give good, caring, objective advice to others rather than to self. If we know the positive feelings of helping another, it's a little bit easier to accept help and listening to others' past destructive behaviors with compassion rather than judgment gives hope for personal healing. When men give what they need for their own health and salvation to others, they begin to realize these gifts have been inside of them all along. Peer mentoring transforms greed and selfishness into gratitude and humility. It transforms fear of closeness into the blessings of unity. Participating and helping in community events gives men a sense of work ethics, teamwork, belonging, self-esteem, positive connections with life. Imagine former bullies and gang members. Gang members? That's what I meant to say. Gang members dressing up as Santa and the elves and giving gifts to children. Imagine these men delivering backpacks with literacy materials and teddy bears and reading stories to disadvantaged children in schools. This is how Beacon House breaks down the defenses of toughness in these men. They lose it completely. They become teddy bears. They start crying. This is how it works. This is what rekindles the preciousness, the purity, the innocence of children. This is what prepares these men to heal their own inner child. This is what prepares these men to be healthy fathers to their own children someday. Feeding the homeless and outreach programs reminds these men of where they used to be and their disease. And they recognize that nourishment is about feeding the mind, the heart, the spirit, as well as the body. And how home is not just a shelter or a structure, but warm, stable, heartfelt connections between significant others and a higher power. Chores, structure, leadership, accountability give men role models and good practice for living responsible adult lives. This is a community in which everyone does their part and helps everyone else, in which the leaders do the most work and the hardest work. And anything that deviates from recovery is immediately identified and men are redirected promptly into healthy behavior. 12-step work and the modeling of spiritual principles allows men to build strong foundations for ongoing sobriety and recovery, to accept life as it truly is, rather than deny, fight, or attempt to change the nature of life, to develop a trusting relationship with a higher power that is most healthy and helpful to them, and to live a spiritual life in all of their affairs, which provides a partnership with the ultimate source of wisdom, peace, and love. Classes, counseling, and groups allow the men to heal past trauma and believe me. These men have past trauma. You wouldn't believe it. To develop compassionate, caring, and healthy boundaries, to express and release resentments, to identify and let go of the false self, and learn to live authentically. Men see that in recovery, admitting shameful secrets and weaknesses actually makes them stronger and releases all that negative energy. And the more they surrender what they know, the wiser they become. We see this wisdom growing all the time by men surrendering everything they know. Healthy fun, sports, culture, art, beach trips, camping allow men to let go of old patterns of competition and jealousy and experience joy and laughter in fellowship. Creativity, relaxation, positive connections to life, and natural highs. In phase 2, there's college, there's trade technical schools, there's working and volunteering, and all of this allows men to develop their interests, their talents, their skills. They get to tutor each other. Whoever's not good in a particular subject, there's 20 men around that can help that man. They get to learn healthy management of money. Some of us need to learn that. Me. Experience greater freedom and the trials that go along with that greater freedom with the support of the Beacon House. And when the men are ready for independent living, there is a thriving alumni association that continues to support the Beacon House. So this is how Beacon House men act their way into better thinking. The body heals and is appreciated for the miraculous vehicle that it is for living this life on earth. The mind is open and teachable with a larger and deeper perspective and healthy morals and values. The heart opens up to authentic emotional connections with self, others, and life itself. And do you know that this is the route to sustainable happiness? The Spirit speaks when men take the time to slow down, let go of everything, and enter that present moment. This happens in times when men are truly giving, when there are feelings of pure joy and gratitude, in deep relaxation, in meditation, and communion with higher power. And this gives a sense of wholeness, holiness, unity, and a glimpse of all that we are created to be. Recovering men at the Beacon House value honor, honesty, humility, and helpfulness in their relationships. They value what brings greater caring, understanding, peace, and joy into this world. Altruistic giving unites us with our higher power. And we realize that there is no end to the abundance of gifts within us to share, and that this is indeed our purpose. We can all be inspired by the Beacon House to bring greater goodness into this world. Beacon House shows us life can be a battle of bad habits and survival, or it can be a work of art, of human lessons and heavenly blessings. It's our choice. Your gifts to the Beacon House save and transform lives, which save and transform countless other lives. Thank you for joining us in supporting this amazing heart and art of this association, and may your own hearts overflow with blessings. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mary, for your inspiring words. And absolutely. And now we're going